right.
working for you anymore. Maybe it doesn't serve you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can rescue the lesson. Maybe we can forgive either your parents or your sister or your uncle or your grandfather or your friend, whoever said whatever to you that make you create that belief,
right,
because you allowed it.
exactly.
And let's move on,
Mm-hmm.
because that is not true.
Right.
That is not true. So
Mm-hmm.
let's create beliefs about you that are going to empower you, and they're going to help you create the life that you want and be that best version of yourself that you deserve to be.
Right. That is true.
So that is pretty much the process of my coaching. And I am an abundance coach because I feel that we have abundance in so many ways in our lives. People think abundance is just to have a big house and a lot of cars parked outside. That's not abundance.
It sure is. I try to tell people that all the time too.
You can have abundance of friendship. You can have abundance of health. You can have abundance of a lot of other things. And when you start recognizing those abundances in your life, guess what happens?
Mm-hmm.
They start being grateful. And when they start being grateful, it's like you put a different filter,
mm-hmm.
and you start seeing everything better. Suddenly you start paying forward.
Right.
Suddenly you start being more empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly you start being more caring.
Right.
Suddenly you stop being less narcissistic.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all are narcissistic. Some people are more, some people are less. But it's,
mm-hmm.
We have a little slice of that in the big pie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to us to control it so it doesn't come out and, ruin our relationships. But we all have that little bit of narcissism in all of us. Mm-hmm. So we need to recognize those things. We need to acknowledge them, and we need to take responsibility and say, you know what? I messed up and I'm sorry.
Right.
I mean, I say I'm sorry to my kids. The other day, my daughter, I invite somebody to an event and a spare of the moment. And then my daughter called me on it and she goes, Mom, I don't want to send the wrong message. Why did you do that? And I'm not ready to take that step.
Right.
And I said, I am very sorry. I didn't mean to be intrusive, and it won't happen again.
Right.
And that's okay, because I'm the mom. I'm not going to be always perfect, and whatever I say is going to be the right thing to say.
Exactly. Yep.
Sometimes I'm the teacher, sometimes I'm the student.
That is so true.
My kid is teaching me, Mom, stay in your lane. Okay.
Right. And we're not always going to get it right as parents, right? We're not.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way, which comes to another thing that I always tell my clients and my daughters as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to think and see the intention of the person more than the action itself.
Gotcha.
Because sometimes somebody will do something and we get upset.
Right.
Or we get defensive, or we don't like it.
Yep, that is true.
We don't stop to realize what was the intention.
Right.
And if the intention was a good intention, give them the benefit of the doubt.
That's true.
Have the conversation and say, listen, I know that your intention was A, B, C, and D. This is how I felt. So I would appreciate if you don't do that again. Because
right, please.
Please
don't, yeah.
But acknowledge their intention.
Exactly. Yep.
Not everybody's out there to get you.
I know. And sometimes, like you said, because I know even with myself, I've had situations where there have been well-intentioned people who love you, who I love and who love you, that might they see something and they think that they have the answer to the reason why something's going on, but they don't know the whole picture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so then that means that advice is coming from that place. And so sometimes you can end up being mad at those individuals. You do want to go ahead and process the emotions and whatnot. And then at the same time, once you've processed it, you can look at it, you know what I'm saying, from a different perspective and say, you know what, I do understand that person's intentions, but it wasn't the right thing to do.
It wasn't what I needed.
Right. It's not what I needed. Exactly.
Right. But it's good to take a pause and not just react, you know, because I'm not saying that everybody has the best intentions. I mean, we will live in a much better world if everybody.
Oh my word!
But a lot of times they do. And we need to see the intention of the person. And I learned that when my girls were little. You know, if they would fight, they were girls. You know, they would fight for something or whatever, and one of them would say, "Oh, you know, she did this, that," and I go, "But you know, your sister loves you,
right?
So you know that she didn't do whatever she did to hurt you. That was not her intention,
right?
You know, maybe you end up being hurt, but." Maybe she just wanted to play and she didn't realize that you were going to roll down the swing and fall.
Right.
She didn't push you hard because she wanted you to kiss the floor, you know? So I always try to make them see the intention of the person. Sometimes there's no justification. I mean, there are some people
for sure
are evil, you know?
Right. I know what you mean.
You know, but some other times, I mean, why not? Why not, you know, pause before we react and see where is this person coming from, really?
Right.
Yeah.
And you're right, because when we react, we go out of that emotion side, and then we pause, we can respond, you know, give it some time, deal with our emotions, and give it some time and look at it and say, you know what? Like, as you said, you know, this person was well-intentioned, but this is not what I needed, and this is what they assumed. You know what I'm saying? That's what I needed. And then you can go on and look at it and kind of close it up rather than developing this spirit of offense. You know what I'm saying? Anger, bitterness, and wearing it on you about the situation when it was just that they just thought the intentions were one thing and they were not, you know?
It didn't come out right.
Right. It didn't come out right. It didn't come out right, you know? Yeah, they thought that this is how I can help you, but it's like no, you know, we all do that. But like you said, when we don't stop to take time to respond, it really comes out pretty bad. You know, it really come out. Oh my word! So now, when it comes to people reaching you, how can they go about finding you and all of that kind of good stuff?
Well, I have my website, which is brighterdaysbook.com. It's like my book. It's called Brighter Days Book. So my website is brighterdaysbook.com.
Wow. So that's the name of the website, brighterdaysbook.com. I love it. Oh my word. And that's a beautiful cover.
Thank you. Those are my daughter's hands.
Those are your daughter's hands?
My daughter's hands creating a peace sign.
Oh my word. I love that. That is so unique.
Yeah. I wanted to do something that it was, you know, when you've been sick so much, even though I'm a very positive person, mortality is part of your everyday. I'm not afraid. When my time comes, my time comes. But this was for me an opportunity to write my lessons for them to have, while I incorporate a lot of little stories and anecdotes that I have with them. So it was kind of funny because I didn't write this book because I wanted to be the next Hemingway. You know, hey, by all means, if that's in my destiny, I would embrace it. But
I got you.
You know, but I wrote my intention. This was a work of love for me. You know, it was like my legacy to my girls so they can come. You know, I had somebody making a comment in Amazon because I sell in Amazon. He said, she talks so much about her daughters. And I'm like, well, you know, it says here, 88 most important lessons learned in the life for women that want to increase their confidence, resilience, and courage. I have learned so much from my kids.
Oh, for sure.
So, of course, I'm going to incorporate it in my book. And, you know, I'm sorry you were not, you know, happy to read it, but I am so happy that I published it.
Oh, for sure. I'm quite sure. Yeah. Yep. Publishing a book is a big deal, you know?
And in my website, I have, you know, I sell my cards, which are affirmation cards.
Right.
I sell my cards there. I sell my my journals. I have journals For the woman journal that I told you, I don't shrink to fit. I have the abundance journal for men.
That's beautiful.
And I am my gratitude journal for children, who is actually in some of the charter schools here in Vegas.
I love it.
It's for kids to be grateful every day. They have, little stories with, messages.
Right.
And then every day they can write, how they feel, the best part of their day, what did we learn. And they have an affirmation in the bottom, the world is a better place because I am in it. But each page, they have a different affirmation that they can take with them. I am a good friend, like positive things that they can say to themselves, and kind of change the tune a little bit,
Right.
Yeah. Oh, so they can find everything on my website, and they can, some people reach out to me through Instagram, and some people reach out to me through my website. So it depends, whatever is easier for them. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's wonderful. So some of them through Instagram and some of them through your website.
Right.
I've got a few rapid fire questions for you. Your favorite kitchen gadget?
You're going to laugh. You're going to laugh because for many years I didn't know what it was, because I love to cook, and then I learned what it was, and I love it. And it's the zester, the one that...
Those are cool.
I love it because it gives a kick to the recipes, from you do it with the lemon, with all the things. And I love my zester. And I remember the first time I was doing a recipe with my husband, because we ordered those things that, when we were empty nest, we ordered those things that bring you the food, and you have to cook it. So he says, so grab the zester and do this. And we both look at each other like, the what?
Right.
So I went and bought one, and I loved it. I use it in all my recipes now.
Oh, wow. I love those zesters too, like you said, because it does give it a kick. I love it. What about a couple of songs on your playlist?
Well, I'm a Whitney Houston fan my whole life. I love Whitney Houston.
Yes, her music. Yes. Oh my
God. Whitney Houston. I love oldies. I love oldies too. I love Michael Bublé. Save My Last Dance for You. I love those things. I also enjoy classical music a lot, and then I'm Latin, so right. I have my Latin music there.
Yes.
But it's funny because I told my husband, we went through a few funerals in the last 3 years. The father of my kids, my mother-in-law, and one of my daughters passed away.
Okay.
So it was very impactful for me going through everything that you have to go through after somebody passed.
Oh my word, yes.
So, and I was very involved in the 3 of them. So I decided to create a playlist for my funeral and a CD with pictures for my funeral. And my husband was like, but why are you doing that? And I said, because I don't want my kids to go through that.
Of having to do all of that for you.
Yeah. Because I want them to be able to mourn and feel whatever they wanted to feel, and not having to work when they are sad because they just lost their mom. So I have, of course they can add some pictures because, if I live another 10 years or 20 years, they can add some pictures, but at least they will have that for the first 55 years of my life, and Whitney Houston, I had the When You Believe, the song When You Believe, that I love, and I Will Always Love You. Those are in my playlist for my funeral because I love those 2 songs of her.
Oh my word, those are beautiful. Oh boy. What about 3 books you feel like you can't live without?
I always, and I have it somewhere here. I love The Little Prince.
Okay.
It's a kid book, but I love it because I love the curiosity, the perception, the forgiveness, the insightfulness. I love that book so much. And it's so uplifting, and in so many ways, and at the same time, it lets your imagination. I think the imagination is like a parachute. If you don't open it, it doesn't work, so you have to open it and imagine the best scenario possible.
Oh, wow. Yes. Oh, I know.
I love that. I love that. So I love that book. I love the 4 Agreements. I have it somewhere here too. I have all my books here for coaching, but I have that.
Okay.
And my dad's book too. I love my dad's book. But I also love The Power of Now from Eckhart Tolle. I really, really enjoy The Power
of that one.
The Power of Now.
Okay.
From Eckhart Tolle.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's what I didn't catch was the author. Okay. The Power of Now. That sounds good.
He is very insightful, and it kind of help you shift when you are stuck. Because oftentimes we either stuck in the past or stuck in the future.
True.
And that book keeps you in check.
Gotcha.
The possibilities are so many, but now is the power of now. And I love it. I love it. I actually have it not only in a book, but my husband got me the one for my phone. From iTunes.
Right.
So, once in a while I listen. He has a heavy accent, so you really have to pay attention to it.
Okay.
To him when he speaks.
Right.
But it's very insightful. And if you search him, even little videos, you listen to him and you're like, this makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. So I like that a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Oh, so now when you think about it, your answers to those questions about your gadget, the songs, and the books, those 3 books.
Yes.
What does that say about you?
Well, I think the sister would be because I truly believe that we all have layers, and to be able to really feel, you have to kind of take the first layers, and be vulnerable. Oftentimes we think that courage and vulnerability don't go together. They do.
They do,
You can be strong and courageous, but at the same time, you can be vulnerable. And, you need to take those layers. So I believe that very much. I love the 4 Agreements. I don't know if you have read it, but I love it.
No, I have not.
The 4 Agreement, Don Miguel Ruiz is the author. And he talks about 4 Agreement is don't take things personal. I always confuse them, so I don't think. Don't take things personal. Be clear with your word.
Okay.
Nothing is personal.
Okay.
And you see, I always forget one. I don't remember. I have the book somewhere here. I will tell you. But right here. I got the 4 Agreements here. See, it's a little bit destroyed. It has coffee stains.
Wow.
I read it a lot.
Used book. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's a used book.
Yeah.
And let me see. Don't make assumptions.
Oh, that's another one. Okay.
So it really look. I even mark pages. I mark it here.
Your important pages. Yep.
Yeah, I really, and then at the end he writes about breaking old agreements. But we do have agreements with ourselves that are not serving us anymore. True. And sometimes you have to break those agreements. Yeah. He says something that John Lennon says: living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see.
Okay.
So I love that book, and I pretty much raise my daughters with the 4 Agreements. Be clear with your word. Be in integrity. Be in integrity. Right. Like, and they will call each other out in things. Well, that was out of integrity. Right. And I love that because they know
for
what
sure
integrity sense. And it's very hard to find nowadays.
It is. You're absolutely right. To deal with a person of integrity, oh my word, that's almost like finding gold. It's sad.
Yeah. And I am always present. I am very present. I like being present. This is who I am. We have no control over what happened in the past or what is going to come to us. I have faith that God has a plan. And if, like my mother-in-law used to say, everything works out at the end. If it doesn't work out, it's not the end yet. So why not work?
True. That is true. That is so true. If it's not, like you said, if it's not the end, then hey, you still got time to work on it, right?
But so you have to you have to think that way. You cannot get stuck where you are. You have to think that way.
Oh, for sure. Because you know what? I mean, just like with anything, we can hop on that train and just, it can run with it once something gets stuck in our minds,
I know.
Mindset is everything. What's one word of wisdom you want to give the audience before we finish the interview?
Well, I would tell every woman what I tell my clients. First of all, don't shrink to fit.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? That's the main thing. Don't compare yourself with anyone. Because we all have gifts.
We sure do.
The only difference is that we don't always unwrap them at the same time. So don't compare yourself. And be aware that when you live in the garbage, it doesn't stink anymore. So if you're unhappy, then start looking.
Right.
What are the reasons why you're unhappy? You might have got used to. It doesn't stink anymore.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We get used to it.
Right.
So be present. You deserve to be happy, no matter what anybody else is telling you. You deserve to be happy. You came to this world. God gives you life because he wants you to be happy, and because he wants you to give back, and because he wants you to share your gifts with everybody else. But if you are in a toxic relationship and you are living in the garbage, you're not only not going to share any gifts that you have, but you're not being happy.
That is true.
And that's a disturbing.
Yep. That is so true. Like you said, if you're in that toxic relationship, you just, it's just not a good thing.
Even if they're little steps.
Yeah.
Have faith in, listen, I have faith in God, but I have faith in myself. And that's very important. You need to have faith in yourself and know that you are capable, that you're going to make it, even the little tiny steps every single day. You are capable to make those steps. You got to have faith that you have what it takes. If the dreams and the goals that you want for yourself.
Right. Like you said, that you have what it takes. Because a lot of times if we are not thinking that we have it, that the limiting beliefs have started all over again.
All over. All over.
Oh, my word.
There was a son, he was devoured by earth. There was a God, they call him the Father. There was a means to make a valley with grace out of this hole that that refines. There's no sense in trying to do it on my own. He gave more than I could have known. He turned those valleys into places to learn, instead of burn and perish away. And nights never so cold without His grace. How could I say that I've seen the world from His great love? How could I know what He could love? How would I've seen what He had in store for me if I didn't give up and let Him be my valley of grace, where things would change and maybe they'd take up the cross high again? The valley of grace never was the same after He had died. The love that refines. So much I wish I could give back, but I'm not intact to be sharing all of that. You took the price to give me that life, and now it's never gonna fade away. When I see I need more of Him, He whispers the sweetest of mercies upon my ears, and I won't go back the way it was again, again, again. And now a valley of grace where things would change. I've seen the lights of valley of grace where things have changed. Oh, I've seen so much for me.